going to get tea. It's Stephanie White. She has had enough of what she has seen from the officials here today. Understandable frustration from Stephanie White.
Couple of possessions in a row where Leah Boston got the fouls. I thought the first one should have been on Howard. And then here, as Petty's in there, Tillman kind of tosses her to the side a little bit, and that was the straw that broke the camel's back there.
Here's they have. So Caitlin Clark, Chloe Bibby right there on the bench. But then you have Sophie Cunningham, Sid Colson, Ari McDonald all actually having to sit separate from the bench. You also have Damiris Dunton.
What do you think? Were the refs unfair? Before the ball even tipped, Indiana's playoff hopes were already stacked against them. Caitlin Clark was out with a groin injury.
His knee took her out. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson were gone with their own knee problems. Ari McDonald was sidelined with her foot. And just to make the cut even deeper, less than 24 hours before Game 1, Damiris Dantas was slapped by concussion protocol.
Chloe Bibby was sidelined with a knee issue. Sophie Cunningham and Sydney Colson.
We got the injured reserves here with you guys, which last month, they just weren't able to travel. What does that mean to you specifically, just having them there?
Yeah, I was super excited. I think just looking at the injured squad in itself, they just have a lot of knowledge. And so for us, just being able to listen to them, taking what they see, because obviously just them watching is going to be a different view than us on that court. And so super, super happy to have them with us.
We're also out with knee problems. Ari McDonald was nursing a bad foot. And less than a day before Game 1, Damiris Dantas was ruled out because of concussion protocol. That's 6 players, 6 rotation pieces, gone. Meanwhile, Atlanta came.
Obviously, the injured players, they haven't been able to travel, some of them, but most of them are here now. Just how do they help kind of from a culture-wise and with, just bringing some perspective with you guys?
Yeah, we miss them every day on the court. So to be able to have them we had our plane, in front of our plane, normally we have empty seats. It was filled on the way here. So, they bring energy, they bring light, they bring their vocal leaders, all of them. So to have them on this trip is huge. And I don't know how we're going to fit everyone on the bench. It's not that long. It's been packed recently. So I'm excited to see how we figure that out, but it'll be great to have them back.
I'm fully healthy and ready. Still, even from the bench, they brought advice and a different point of view. That support meant a lot, but it didn't change how unfair the situation.
Finally able to travel from a medical standpoint as well. So, I think having the whole group here, having those guys here gives us a little bit of a boost emotionally. And then having their perspective. You're talking about 3 point guards that are sitting on the sideline that can talk to our team in huddles, that can talk to our team, throughout the course of.
Felt. The Fever worked all season just to grab the 6th seed. They fought through injuries, shuffled lineups, and still found ways to win. But instead of walking into the playoffs with a clean slate, they entered with more players on the injured list than some teams have on their bench. For fans and players, it was another test in a season full of them.
Come on, guys. This is my new team, the medical staff. Oh, yeah.
The Fever brought all 16 players, injured or not, to Atlanta. It showed how close this team is, but it also highlighted how
what the referees did. And I know why Stephanie White got a technical foul. Any coach that had to watch their team work so hard all season long, played through every single injury. And the reason why they had so many injuries is because of these referees.
When you show up with healthy rotations. Indiana showed up with half the roster in street clothes, including 3 point guards who now spend their time helping during huddles instead of running the floor. That's the difference. Other playoff teams have reliable backups they can plug in when stars need rest. Indiana didn't have that luxury. They had to rely on whoever was healthy, piecing together lineups however they could. And still, they made the playoff.
Ryan Howard just falls down, but it's a foul. This is ridiculous. Look at this. Kelsey Mitchell. They don't even let the Fever play defense because she's associated with Caitlin Clark. Look at this one. Another foul where nobody touched him. So they lost the timeout and they lost their challenges for the game because the referees can't do their job.
2 years in a row. That shows just how tough they are. Sophie Cunningham summed it up with a joke. Stuck in knee rehab, she laughed that she's basically part of the medical staff now. It was funny, but also telling. A starter turned cheerleader trying to keep the mood light when she should have been out there making shots.
The referees took it over. Look at this. Everybody saw this. Lexi Hall didn't touch her, but they had to waste their first challenge on this play. Here we go. Look at this. She gets elbowed in the face, and they call a foul on Brianna Turner. And then Lexi Hall turns around to go back on defense, but she gets charged for a foul, and they wanted to upgrade it, reviewed it.
Stop.
Look at this. Boston gets elbowed in the face by Brittany Griner. You think they called it? No. And look at this. Lexi Hall did not touch her. Didn't even touch her. And she gets free throws. Here we go. Kelsey Mitchell touched her hip lightly.
Her team grind all season, fight through injury after injury, only to see refs decide the flow of the game. Any coach would have snapped. Indiana came into Atlanta with 6 players injured but still came out swinging. They jumped to a 15-6 lead with Kelsey Mitchell knocking down shots and Aaliyah Boston owning the paint. For a while,
Lexi Hall gets thrown out of bounds. No foul, right? Remember that play, okay? Boston, foul. But look at this. So she goes for the ball, and then they call a foul on Lexi Hall. Look at, she says, wow.
Looked like the Fever were about to pull off the impossible, a short-handed team outplaying a fully healthy Atlanta squad. But then the whistles started, and everything changed. Calls did
actually talk about the physicality of this game and being able to, knowing it's the playoff playing in such a physical game like today.
Yeah, I mean, I think we knew coming in it's playoffs, it's going to be physical, and we're going to have to learn how to play with that, especially this team is inherently a physical team. So for us, knowing that's the case and being able to respond, I think there's things that we're able to watch and film on how to handle that better, not letting the refs determine, how that physically is impacting us, but just continuing to play through that. It's definitely something we're going to have to work on and watch film and get better at, but that's part of playoffs, and that's part of the thing that we're going to have to get better at moving forward in this series.
Is one of the biggest victims. She was whistled for a foul on Ryan Howard even though replays showed she barely touched her. Coach Stephanie White had to use a challenge in the first quarter just to overturn it. Not long after, Hull got elbowed in the face, yet somehow the foul was
either. You think after 20 of them? Look at this. So that's a foul, right? But watch when the Fever do it 2 times in a row. Same exact thing. But it's not a foul when the Fever drive. Look at this. It's not a foul when the Fever get hit in the air, but the Dream get free throws. Same exact plays. Look at this one. What are you supposed to do? Just roll out the red carpet and give him a layup? She is not fouling her. They give her a 3-point play for putting your hands up.
Challenge by the second quarter, which no coach ever won, only proved what everyone could see. The refs were missing too much. Meanwhile, Atlanta's physical play was being ignored. Boston and Turner were shoved and elbowed in the post with no calls. The pattern was clear. When Indiana made contact, it was a foul. When Atlanta did, play continued. That kind of imbalance doesn't just show up on the scoreboard. It messes with
a few of those last few possessions. Mitchell catch fire and hit from 3. What a start. Rebound hits the floor. Hull keeps it alive for Indiana. Mitchell using the screen, dancing around Griner, and able to squeeze it in off.
Confidence, rhythm, and focus. By the fourth quarter, frustration boiled over. Stephanie White snapped at the refs after Shaw Petty got grabbed with no whistle. The officials hit her with a technical, but she was only saying what every Fever fan at home was already yelling. After the game, Lexi Hall was asked about the physicality. She admitted they knew the playoffs would be physical and that Atlanta plays that style naturally. The Fever expected contact, but what they didn't expect was for the whistles to only go one way. Lexi Hall said afterward that the Fever have to learn from this. They can't let the refs control their mindset. Instead, they'll watch film, adjust, and figure out how to play through it. That's
here for Indiana.
So much length, and it's obvious on the defensive end for Atlanta.
Boston just kind of pushed it up and in. Guarded by Howard. And slide it into Boston. Center of the lane. Turning and finishing. Aaliyah Boston. Beautiful.
It's part of the playoffs, and it's something they'll need to handle better as the series goes on. The chaos didn't stop. Odyssey Sims dove for a loose ball, a hustle play that should have been celebrated, but the refs called a foul. The Fever bench looked rattled. Even Caitlin Clark, injured but present, had to step in and calm her coach when Stephanie White.
Samasco emphasized first just how well she's been playing down the stretch. The efficiency has gotten much better since the second week of August, averaging nearly 20 points a game since then. Is Hull 40-33. Atlanta in front. These teams split their 4 regular season meetings as Hull knocks down the 3. Hull gets a step and finishes off the win.
Looked ready to blow up again. It was surreal. Clark, unable to play, holding back her own coach. Atlanta, meanwhile, thrived in the storm. They turned the mess into a big third-quarter run that stretched the lead beyond reach. After the game, the story wasn't about how Indiana's stars battled. It was about the officiating. Fans were left out.
Mitchell gives it up beautifully. Boston lays it in.
The number of screens that Aaliyah Boston set on that possession, her stagger, pinned down here. She's going to come up and set another on-ball screen, turn, re-screen action, and then finally rolls to the basket.
Kelsey Mitchell led the way. She scored 27 points, a playoff career high, shooting nearly 50% and sinking almost every free throw. She added 4 assists and even a block, carrying the offense whenever it stalled. Every time the Fever needed a spark, Mitchell delivered. Still, the absence of Caitlin Clark was impossible to miss.
Competing against everyone. We're in every single game, and I think at the end of the day, we've seen in moments when we're not doing well or games that we've lost, it's really things that we can control. So making sure that we're locked in on all of those things and tidying up those little things, because if we can put together 40 minutes, we feel like we can beat anybody in the league. So we're excited about the opportunity. We're excited that the playoffs is finally here. And now, it's not about what our record was. It wasn't about teams we beat or who we didn't beat during the regular season. It's about Atlanta. It's about this game on Sunday. So that's all we're focused on, and we're really excited about the opportunity.